All right, let's dive right in. A huge part of India's legal education system is now under the microscope in the Supreme Court itself. And what are they looking at? It's the 5-year integrated law degree. So let's get into what this whole challenge is about.
And really, it all boils down to this one big question. I mean, for decades, this 5-year track has been the go-to for anyone jumping into law right after high school. But you have to ask, is that extra year actually a good thing, or is it a problem? So where did all this come from? Well, this whole conversation got kicked off by a petition from an advocate named Ashwini Kumar Upadhyay. He's basically gone to the Supreme Court and said, hey, do we really need these 5 years? And the way he's doing this is with something called a public interest litigation, or a PIL. Okay, so what is a PIL? For anyone who's not familiar, it's a really powerful way for any citizen to take an issue they think is important for everyone and bring it straight to the top courts. In this situation, the public interest is all about the future of law school and, the students who are going through it. Right, so what's the actual argument here? What's the beef with the 5-year program? Let's unpack the main points that are really driving this whole thing.
The first thing the petition does is just a straight-up comparison. It says, look, other really tough professional degrees, like engineering, right? That's a 4-year BTech. So the question is, why is law the odd one out? Could that extra year actually be turning smart students away from a career in law?
Okay, the case against it really stands on 3 main legs. First, you've got the money. 5 years of fees and living expenses, that's a huge burden, especially for middle-class or lower-income families. Second, there's the lost time. That's a whole year students aren't earning or getting real-world experience. And finally, they're even questioning the subjects being taught, arguing that things like sociology or history are just there to fill up time and make the course longer.
And get this, the petitioner doesn't hold back at all. He actually calls it a dirty trick to extract money. Wow. The claim is basically that this extra year is more about making money for the colleges than actually educating the students. It's a pretty bold statement, and it definitely shows how strong the feeling is on this.
But it's not all about pointing out problems. The petition actually comes with a plan. It lays out a potential new blueprint for how law school could work. And the proposal is pretty straightforward. Let's create an expert legal education commission. The idea is to get all the heavy hitters in one room, jurists, retired judges, top lawyers, professors, and basically tell them, okay, take a hard look at the entire system and redesign it. They'd have the power to change everything from what's taught to how long the course should even be. So the main takeaway here is that they want to shift who gets to decide how law is taught. Move it away from the current setup and give that power to a dedicated group of experts. The end game? A curriculum that's modern, streamlined, and actually built for today's world. So, with this big proposal on the table, what do the Supreme Court have to say? Well, their reaction was careful, and it really shows you that this isn't a simple fix. The Chief Justice of India basically said, look, we're an important piece of the puzzle, but we're not the whole puzzle. He was really clear that the court can't just snap its fingers and make a massive policy change like this all by itself. He's talking about all the other people who have a say, right? You've got the Bar Council of India, all the law schools and universities, the professors, policy experts. The list goes on. This kind of decision needs everyone to be on board, or at least be part of the conversation. And here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't the first time the court has looked at this. And when you compare what was said before to what's being said now, you can really see how divided the opinions are. So just back in April of 2024, the same advocate filed a similar petition and it was dismissed. Back then, the Chief Justice, D.Y. Chandrachud, actually defended the 5-year course. He said it helps create lawyers who are more mature and have a broader perspective. But now, fast forward to 2026, and the court's looking at it differently. They're not getting into a debate about whether 4 years is better than 5. Instead, they're saying, hey, this is a big policy matter. We need everyone to talk this out first before a court should step in. Okay, so where does all this leave us? What's the bottom line right now for the 5-year degree? And what happens next? This timeline is pretty revealing. The court pointed out something interesting. A lot of people think the 5-year course started with the big national law schools, but nope. It actually started way back in the early 80s at Maharshi Dayanand University. And the whole point back then was to mix in subjects like history and sociology to create more well-rounded lawyers. So after that first petition got tossed out in 2024, here we are with the new one. And the next date to watch is April 26th. And that's pretty much where we are today. No decision has been made. The Supreme Court has basically hit the pause button, saying, let's wait. They want to give everyone involved, all the major players in India's legal scene, time to talk this through. Which leaves us with this massive question, doesn't it? When we think about the future, who should be in the driver's seat for legal education in India? Should it be the courts, the government, or should the legal community itself figure it out? Right now, that's the big unknown. Thanks so much for tuning in.